Narrating.
Hey guys, we're back. This is Fallstreak. Anno Mundi 208. 8 years after the fire of collapse. Dinner's ready. Tris, can you go get your mother? I nod and stick out a thumbs up. Hey Cal, at least wait until your mother gets here before you start making a mess. You make a mess when you eat too, you know. Also, how many times do I have to tell you not to call me Cal? How do you always find the worst possible way to shorten someone's name? It sounds even dumber when you shorten Mommy's name. Okay, just calm down. You're sending food all over the place. A little chair near the window. Mother was in her usual spot, staring off into space. Running up to her, I point to the kitchen and pantomime eating. I'll be right there. My task complete, I turn to go back, but something makes me stop. For as long as I can remember, Mother's always been a quiet person. But has she truly always been like this? Sometimes, looking at her makes my chest hurt. It's as if she's hurting inside, but nobody in the world could understand that. Driven by a strong impulse, I wrap my arms around her and bury myself in her warmth. Tris, what's the matter? I didn't understand it very well myself, so for the time being, I just hold on to her. Why? Why are you holding me? Why am I holding you? At that moment, more than ever, I wished I could speak. Words I wanted to tell her with all my heart. Even though I knew I couldn't voice them, I move my lips. Because I feel like it. My face breaks out in a big, wide smile as I answer. Mother's expression twists. She clutches at her head and keels over. Concerned, I tug at her sleeve. Eat dinner without me. I'll be in my room. Averting her eyes, she pulls away from me, leaving me behind once more. I wanted to reach out to her. I wanted to ask what was wrong, to help her and make sure she was okay. But in the end, all I can do is gaze at her receding back. I can't fall asleep. Mother. The expression she had on her face, I couldn't get it off my mind. Realizing I wasn't getting to sleep anytime soon, I decided to grab a glass of water. The sound of breaking glass. Someone was in the kitchen. Though my first reflex is to check it out, something makes me stop. Something was wrong. Hiding in the shadows, I cover my lantern and peek into the kitchen. Ha. It was Mother. She was leaning over the kitchen sink, panting as if in pain. That's when I see it, dappled in wavering candlelight. Something red. Blood. Without warning, she pushes off the counter and tears off. The sound of the front door being thrown open splits the night as she disappears into the rain. A whirlwind of questions flood my mind, none of which I had an answer to. One thing alone was clear, though. She was hurt. I need to go after her. It takes all I have to keep up with her. This place. It was a place the adults always told us to stay away from. Minilust, an abandoned area that had never been rebuilt after the fire of collapse. The rainbow mist was known to rise and shroud the area at times, making it a dangerous location. Why was she here? Where was she going? The question swirled in my head only continued to grow as I chased her through the ruins. Under the falling rain, even the light from my lone lantern felt feeble. Suddenly, Mother stopped moving. I skid to a halt. Why had I stopped? There shouldn't have been any reason. But when I take a step forward, a whistling sound fills the air and something brushes against my face. I fall onto my rear end. What just happened? My hand trembles as I bring it to my cheek. It comes away wet with something. Something warm. Blood. Run. Run away, Tris. The lantern rolls across the floor. It comes to rest by her feet, illuminating her face. However, the face that I behold does not belong to someone I know. Madness. There was no other way to describe it. It was the face of one who had fallen into madness. Panic seizes my heart as the light goes out and another whistle cuts through the air. I need to get away. Stumbling on my feet, I turn and flee. Footsteps. The sound of footsteps behind me. She was chasing me. A deafeningly sharp wind blows past my ear. Realizing I was exposed out in the open, I veer off the street into a series of alleys. The rubble and undergrowth reach out and grab at my feet as I plunge into the darkness, like the hands of corpses denied salvation. Grabbing, they drag me down the spiral staircase of minimalist madness. This mist. When did it get so misty? I had no idea where I was. All I knew was that I needed to get away. I duck as a blur of movement erupts in the corner of my vision. A flash of gleaming silver cuts through the air above me. It lodges into a nearby wooden post, cleaving it nearly in twain. That could have been me. If there had been any doubt before, it was gone. Mother was trying to kill me. Her eyes were like those of a hunter. They draw me in, paralyzing me, strangling me, eating me. Shaking my head violently, I tear myself away and dash into the mist. But her face remained etched in my mind's eye. The way she looked at me, it made me realize something. Even though she was my mother, I didn't know anything about her. Nothing about her past, nor anything about her current self. What she was thinking, what she was feeling. They were all faraway things I didn't understand at all. All I knew was that I was her prey. Where was I? I couldn't tell anymore. Everywhere looked the same. Clip, clap, clip, clack. Footsteps. Unable to rest, unable to breathe. It shouldn't have been possible. But every time I try and slow down, it becomes deafening. The sound of footsteps. Ringing through the night. Ringing through my skull. I can't stop. I can't stop moving. Because if I do, I'll... How long have I been running for? Everything felt murky and heavy, like time itself had abandoned me. Even the breaths leaving my body felt like they were weighing me down. I can't keep this up anymore. My foot catches on something. I plummet to the ground. The sound of footsteps. It stops. Dread seizes me. The silence was crushing, suffocating. Even though the noise had been maddening, now that it was gone, I'm afraid to look behind me. But the fear of not looking was even greater. My body trembles violently as I force myself to turn around. I can see it. Her dark figure shrouded in malice. Slowly. 1 step. 2. She walks toward me. Clawing at the ground, I drag myself away from her. The moment my back hits something. Silver flashes. Driven to desperation, I grab at her arm and try to push the knife back. But it was no use. Slowly but steadily, the knife inches toward my throat. Just when the tip is about to sink into me, though, I notice, while one of her hands was pressing the blade towards me, the other was gripping the edge, gripping tightly, as if to stop it. The blood from her trembling fingers spills down, trickles onto my bare skin. All of a sudden, something crumbles at my back. A sense of weightlessness grips me. As I tumble through the darkness, a thought crosses my mind. Am I going to die? Shutting my eyes, I resign myself to fate. But then, as if to shield me from the darkness, something wraps me in a tight embrace. It's dark. It's cold. Far above, a circle of light. Was this a well? You're awake. Someone was holding me. As we fell, they had placed their body between me and the ground. Mom, don't move, Triss. My body is broken. I wanted to turn around. I wanted to make sure she was okay. Please. But something in her voice stops me. Reluctantly, I let the tension leak from my body. I let myself be enveloped in her warmth. It was comfortable. So unbelievably comfortable. I wanted to cry. When was the last time? The last time she hugged me like this? I couldn't remember. I've always wished for it, that she hold me like this. Because whenever we hug, it's always just me holding onto her one-sidedly. Triss, can I tell you a story? I know it's not something I should burden you with, but I want someone to listen. I wrapped my hand around hers and squeezed. I wanted to hear. I wanted her to know I was there for her. Triss, thank you. Mother exhales deeply. It's a story about a foolish woman, a broken woman who lost her pieces. No. For a long time, my consciousness drifts through the haze. Hot, heavy, I splinter into fragments. One by one, I piece myself back together, only to end up breaking again. Burn the witch! It plagued me as I flickered between wakefulness and the border of a dream. Visions of her burning figure, Mallory, again and again, again and again. No matter how many times I try to reach out, my leaden body doesn't make it. Can you hear me? Amine! You don't have to shout. Oh, thank the heavens. You're finally awake. Mommy! Kalia tries to hug me, but she fails. A muffled yoing sounds out as she face palms onto the bed. Right, she probably hasn't adjusted to her lack of arms yet. How long have I been out? The last thing I remembered was dragging myself home and treating Kalia and Atun. It's been several weeks now. You really scared me, you know. When I woke up, I found you collapsed with an awful wound and a high fever. The doctor that stitched you up said you got a nasty infection from your injury. Sometimes you'd wake up and eat and drink and, but you were never really fully conscious for that. You look like crap. There were dark bags under Atun's eyes. Haha, let's just say I've handled enough crap to justify looking like it. That aftermath's been pretty rough, but I'm glad you're back with us. There's a lot I can't do with how my hands are now. With great difficulty, Atun forces open his bandaged hands. I see. Little Triss here never left your side the entire time, you know. Triss was sitting at my bedside with tears in his eyes. The doctor said the rainbow flame smoke took his voice. He may never be able to speak again. Triss. I reach out to wipe away his tears, but something makes me stop. The color of life, vivid and red. It coalesces at my fingertips. Dripping, bleeding, it crawls up my arm as if to consume me. When I blink my eyes, it vanishes. My hand falls short of Triss's cheek. As if weighted down by a shackle, it drops back to my side. Atun, how are the Bossia children doing? About that, I tried to check up on the Bossias the other day, but for some reason all of the Minilust has been cordoned off. Apparently it's been overrun by rainbow mist. Wait, you shouldn't get up yet. I need to go. Wait! A sense of lightheadedness assaults me as I rise from bed. My body felt weak and unresponsive, but I couldn't spare a second. I needed to make sure that they were safe. Grabbing what I can on the way out, I raced toward the Bossia household. Please let them be safe. But the only thing that awaited me was a reality that was far too cruel. Auntie? Alouette's pale and emaciated figure. Look, Lenny. Auntie brought us food. Lynette's thin, rotting corpse. Dia, say thanks. Auntie got us something to eat. And Dia's lifeless body, noose marks still visible around his neck. Because of me, Mallory has died. Alouette will be a good girl and wait, and now her children as well, so that everyone can be together again. Please take care of my children. Everyone together. They're just like their mother after all. Together. Little crybabies that get lonely easily but try to act strong. Again. I couldn't protect her. I couldn't even protect what she had left behind. Her last request, her dying wish, it had been for their sake. But even the modest wish of hers, I squeezed Mother's hand. I had no idea. To think she's been bearing such a weight for all this time. The red illusion. Even now, I can still see it. It never leaves my sight anymore. For years, I tried to live with it. I tried to ignore it. But slowly, it spread its stains over my soul. And I did something I couldn't take back. I can see it. This world is what's wrong. A vivid delusion that rationally cannot defeat rationality. The world is wrong. The world is broken. I am broken. The world is my enemy. A red that overwhelms all else, splattering and monochrome canvas of the world. Colors. The more I tried to scrape it away, the more vivid its hue became. They make my vision insane. No matter what I do, it won't go away. My vision is insane. She had been there on that day. Her soul had roared for blood and had feasted as it was given to her. She had taken. If the world will take, if the world will kill and eat, then I too will take. I too will kill and eat. Crimson petals dance. I take their eyes, sight, their eyes are taken from them. Sweet nectar overflows. I take their tongue, taste, their tongue is taken from them. Ivory stems separate. I take their fingers, touch, their fingers are taken from them. A caged heart sings. I take their ears, hearing, their ears are taken from them. It crumbles into ash. I take their nose, smell, their nose is taken from them. I want to take more. Red, the color of life, I continue to take more. But no matter how much I take, red, the color of death, more is taken from them. It's not enough. Red, the color of all. Red, the color of none. It's never enough. Red, red. Red, 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 red. That's a lot of reds. The Phantom of Minilust. He's already claimed another victim. We've been trying to keep it from going public to avoid a panic, but the bodies just keep coming in. I haven't had a wink of sleep in a while. Forget about shut-eye, Dad. I'm worried about your safety. This guy seems really dangerous. Everyone's afraid, Atun, but we can't be afforded that same fear. For the people to feel the streets are not safe to walk. It's our duty to rectify that. I know, it's just... Is there any way I can help at least? Well, you can help your old man gather his thoughts. When do you think the Phantom began killing? Only recently, right? The first body was discovered around a year ago, if I remember correctly. I don't think that's the case. I think they've been murdering people since the Fire of Collapse. That long ago? You've heard stories of the Treasure of Minilust, right? Yeah, when the rainbow mist started rising there, a lot got left behind in the evacuation. Legend has it, something particularly priceless was left behind, the Treasure of Minilust. It said if you try to lay hands on the treasure, you'll be spirited away. But of course, it's only a legend. Tell me, Atun, what do you think the best way to get away with murder is? I guess I'd try to pin the blame on someone else? Come on, boy. If you tried thinking for just a second, you'd see how many ways that could go wrong. This is elementary stuff. Honestly, you're like a child sometimes. Okay, genius detective Cordero. Please enlighten me. I should have spanked you more when you were a child. Anyways, The most effective way to get away with murder, it's simpler than you think. You just have to make it so the body is never found. There's no need to fool an investigator if they're not aware a murder has even occurred. Are you saying all legends have at least some semblance of truth to them? Several people really did go missing after trespassing into Minilust, mainly looters looking to plunder what was left behind. But the way the victims disappeared without a trace, it was always too clean. It reeks of human hands. So you think those mysterious disappearances were murders, the Phantom's work? Precisely. At first they didn't kill very often and cover it up well, so no one would suspect anything. But now, for some reason, they're killing more, and they're getting sloppy. The most recent killings make my stomach turn. The victims are mostly women. While they all get brutally tortured beforehand, what stands out most is how the uterus gets ripped out and mutilated beyond recognition. It's quite the nasty MO. Ugh, I still haven't had dinner yet, you know. Anyways, it's become a top priority now that they've expanded their range. We've already drafted a plan to catch the guy. That sounds dangerous, Dad. Don't worry, boy. Your old man knows how to take care of himself. The sound of a chair scraping against the floor. Anyways, I reckon it's high time I stop lazing around. There's still details that need to be finalized. I'll catch you later, son. Be careful, okay? Footsteps from the neighboring room into this one. They ring out. Oh, you are here, Amine? Yes. My son tells me you haven't been sleeping well recently. A lot of people haven't, with that serial killer running around. But you should be able to rest easy soon. The Sakatrini Guard's planning on an operation to take care of it. I see. Hey, just between you and me, Cordero's voice drops to a whisper. What in God's name made a lovely lass like you marry my son? For the longest time, I was convinced he'd die old and alone. Though he's inherited my good looks, he's no good at talking with women, you see. I'm aware. Haha. Might be because he grew up without a mother. Cordero's gaze grows solemn and distant. You know, I'm proud to call you my daughter-in-law. When the fire of collapse struck, I went ahead and got injured like an idiot and couldn't do a thing. But you didn't let that stop you. I heard it all from Atun, how you hauled him and Kalia all the way to Akian Nois and back to treat them when they got marked by the rainbow fire. Even though you had a nasty wound leagues worse than my own, you placed them first, pushing yourself so hard you ended up bedridden for weeks. You've thanked me enough for that already. Haha, sorry. I know I've already thanked your ears off for saving their lives, but I truly am grateful. The fire of collapse took so much away from us. Tristan's voice, Clea's arms, and all sensation in my son's hands. But here we are now. Atun's found peace working as a structural engineer. When he lost the ability to do intricate craft anymore, he was so depressed, but was able to move on. My cute grandchildren as well, they've both grown up so happy and healthy. The way those little rascals run around playing without a care in the world, it's inspiring. And it's all because of you. Your strength and kindness is the glue that holds this home together. I'm not a kind person, nor am I strong. From the very beginning, these hands have never been able to protect anything. Even now, Alouette was still in that house, waiting for a reunion that would never happen. Haha, if you insist, I can add Humble to the list as well. Cordero's face turned solemn with a touch of sentimentality. There we go. It was a trait of his, how quickly his expression turned from laughing to sincere. This family is my pride and joy. You've done so much to protect it, more than I ever have. That's why I want to do my part as well. And that's why this operation matters so much to me. Cordero smiles. It was a sad, wistful smile. Alouette Basia. Atun's told me all about it. How the poor child's locked her heart away and waits alone in an empty house for the return of her long-lost family. Even though it seems hopeless, you still venture into Minilust to support her, never giving up on her. You're an amazing person, you know. It gouged into my heart, the way he looked into my eyes with earnest admiration. I know how much you treasure Alouette, how much you care about her. So in order to protect you two, in order to make sure it's safe for you two, I'll do everything in my power. I'll see this operation to the end without fail. Cordero turns to leave, conviction in his steps. Cordero. You know, I'd really like it if you could call me father. Daddy also works. I've always wanted a cute daughter to call me that. Haha, I'm kidding. Just a little old geezer humor. Don't go. Huh? Don't go after the phantom. You're scared as well, aren't you? It's only natural. It makes me really happy that you're worried about my safety. But no matter how dangerous it may be, this is something I have to do. That's how much I care about you and this family. Please. You always handle everything so well on your own that I've always wanted a chance to let you rely on me. So just this once, leave it to this old man of yours. Stop. I'll see you later, Amine. Screaming. The splashing of boots against Sakatrine's stone path. It was the only sound that challenged the rain's unchanging vigil. I was being followed. My head begins to buzz again. I had known. I had known this would happen, so why? It's because you wanted this. My heart was whispering to me. It's because deep down you want to slaughter everybody. What should have been splashes of transparent rainwater gradually transform into splashes of searing red, to burn down the world for what it had done to Mallory. The red illusion once again spread its stains over my soul. But I did not reject it this time. I let it seize my heart, swallowing down the burning drop of black heat it tempts me with. The Horloge lynching. Those who did it, and those who stood by and let it happen. This broken world, who received her sacrifice, and continued on as if nothing had happened. I can't accept it. I won't forgive it. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this episode, so stay tuned for the next episode.
Thanks for watching!